I am Callum from Tyne Valley Motorhomes, and this is the handover of the 2015 VW camper converted by Calidonia campers. So starting we'll walk around on the driver's side first. Just in the driver's door, above the accelerator pedal, is your bonnet release. So we'll pop that, and as we walk around we'll show you that at the last thing we show you. You've got your tyre pressures here, so find your tyre size and your profile, and then it matches to what pressures they are there as you have a selection. Underneath is where you'll have to put a dish of some sort to catch your wastewater out your sink. So there's a little valve on there, so you can open or close it, and then you would put a container, or if you're on a super site you can connect a hose pipe to there and put it into the drain off point and leave that open. But that would be where all your wastewater from your cold water sink would come from. Coming further back, you've got your high level brake light. Obviously you can open the back door manually using the key. You've got your parking sensors along the back, and then just underneath is where you'll find your hookup point. So there's a little cover there which goes on for when you're travelling on the road, so it doesn't expose that end to dirt and moisture. Take it off, get your hookup lead, expose the ends, and then hook up to the vehicle. You'll also have a spare wheel underneath the vehicle as well. And then coming to the passenger side, you've got your sliding cargo door, diesel filler on the passenger door, which you can just release the cap and fill with fuel, diesel fuel. If you're putting a child in the front seat, you'd have to turn the airbag off using the key, so you can turn that on and off. And then underneath the bonnet, gas strut, second handle there to release the catch once you've popped it. You've got your power steering fluid, brake fluid, dipstick for checking your oil filler, screen wash, radiator coolant, and then your battery here. So you've got a positive and a negative terminal if you ever need to jump start or charge the battery on the vehicle. In the back doors you'll have storage, and then underneath you've got storage where you have your jack and a brace there, so your VW toolkits in the left hand corner. You've got a warning triangle here, and you've got your table where that lives under there when it's not in use. And then LPG, so this is where your bottle would go. So you get your bottle to connect onto here. So this is a butane connection. You can change it for a propane, but this one's a butane. And all you would do is connect to the bottle, tighten it up with a gas spanner, and then strap the bottle in. Once inside the vehicle, so you've got your main control panel here. So this is your on-off switch, depending if you are on mains electric or not. If you're mains electric, your 3-pin plugs will work. If not, you'll just have 12 volt off your leisure battery if you weren't hooked up. So this is your master switch. You always want the camper to be run off the leisure battery, and you can see the level. You can press the vehicle battery and see the level of the vehicle battery, but you always want the blue little dot to be on leisure, because you wouldn't want the vehicle battery to be powering all these lights when you're parked up, because there would be a chance that you could flatten the engine battery. Turn your pump on here and you'll be able to use the tap. It'll start beeping because this doesn't actually know how much water's in there, because there's no gauge on this, with it being a jerry can full of water for the cold water tap. So it'll show red. Don't be worried, just check on the jerry can, which will show you where it is on how much is in there. But when it does start beeping, if you just press the water symbol here twice, it'll just eliminate that siren. 3-pin plug, 12 volt, and then you've got your lights in your kitchen.
USB sockets.
And a USB socket. Cupboards above here. Your bar for your table, if you wanted that in position. If not, it's just stored under here. An arrangement of storage there. But underneath this one is where you'll find your fresh water. So you've got a 10-litre jerry can there, which you would just take out and fill up and then put back in. You take the red end off there, which has got a submersible pump in, which drops into the water, and then it'll pressurise the water into the taps. But in the winter, make sure that's empty. Don't leave any water in there, because it could crack this if it got so cold and potentially was to freeze overnight. And you've got your gas taps here, but any problems with gas, turn the bottle off to be safe. 2 gas burners, your cold water tap there, and then you've got your grill with your grill pan and everything wrapped up there. Your fridge, so your fridge works off this master switch on the switch there. So just behind the driver's seat there's a switch, and it's a 12 volt compression fridge, so it'll work wherever you are as long as you've got charge in your leisure battery. And then you can control the temperature via this switch here. When you have finished with it for the winter, if you clean it out, then you want to leave the door open. So if you put this little travel catch in the lock position which says vent, and just rest the door up against it, the door's not should flush there, so it'll allow air circulation in and out of the fridge. So to make your back travelling seats into a bed, there's a little catch here, lift it up, it'll slide down, and there you have your rock and roll bed into a double bed. And then when you're ready to put it back into position, there's a little handy strap in between the 2 seat belts which lifts it up. So you'd lift up and you'd push it at the same time until it was to click back into place, which means it's secure and safe to be used as travelling seats. In this compartment here, so underneath here you do have your leisure battery. That's the location of the leisure battery. And then you've got your EC 155 unit, so this is a power supply unit. So this charges the leisure battery when hooked up. So you've got all your 12 volt fuses, which are listed what they do, so do carry some spare blade fuses just in case one does blow a fuse. You can replenish the fuse and fix the issue. And then on the right hand side you've got your RCD unit and your MCB trips. So if you trip the vehicle out, you can try here before you try your main site where you hooked up to. This light here next to your back seat is a touch light, so you've just got to touch it to come on and off, and you'll notice you've got a carbon monoxide alarm and a smoke alarm as well, and one behind. So above with the pop top you've got the bed board, which comes up in two sections, so you'll be able to pull it down as one, and then above here you do have a second double bed, so it could be a 4-berth at a push with 2 here and 2 there. But when putting the roof down, which I'll show you, you've got to make sure that you pull the canvas in at the same time. So pull the bedboard down, and then you'd hold onto these handles, pull down so far until you can just pull the canvas in front and sides, so it doesn't get trapped between the sharp edge of the vehicle and the roof. Pull it down, and then what you can do is you can tuck it all back away in the space, And then there's two straps which go around here to secure the roof down when travelling, which will more than likely be in the glove box. So now you would put your straps on to secure the roof. So feed the strap between the two mounting points on the vehicle, push the catch in, slide it through, pull it as tight as you possibly can pull it, and then the excess strap, if you just wrap it around the main handle a couple of times, and then slide it back up through the center of the strap, and you do that on both sides to secure the roof down before you would start traveling. So to rotate the double passenger seat on the Kira van base swivel, what you've got to do is you've got to loosen these nuts off. And once you've loosened them off, there's two little pins, so it needs to pull up and sit on top of this bracket here. Then what you want to do is you want to push the seat as far as you can to the passengers, to the driver's seat. So push it over, and then put the vehicle into gear and release the handbrake. And then what you can do is you can turn it on itself all the way around. It is quite a fiddle, but you'll get the knack of it. And there you have your seat turned round. But always pull it as close to this driver's seat as you can, so avoid scraping this pillar here. So now in the cab, so on the door you have your driver and passenger electric windows. Your central locking, which locks it on an evening, or if you want to lock it when you're in the vehicle. Your right and left mirror adjustments, and then if you go to the middle setting, they are heated for when it's wet or you're away in the winter. You can heat the mirror so you can get a clearer visibility. Then you have your headlight controls, so you've got off your side lights or your headlights, and then you pull it up and it'll just pop out for the rear fog light to come on. Headlight adjustment, and then you've got the brightness of the panel when the lights are on, so if it's too bright or too dull you can just adjust it here. Wipers with a trip computer on the end, so you can go through your trips and you can see how many miles you've covered and so on. Indicators, and then you do have your cruise control function here, so it's off at the moment. You would slide that down to on, and then you would set it like so, plus and the minus. If you did have to cancel it off with the foot brake, you can just press the top one, which is resume, on the plus, and it'll take it back to the last speed it was set at before the engine was turned off. Temperature, fan speed and distribution, recirculation. Turns your traction control off this button here, and you've got your hazards. And then you can pull these out, and these are two cup holders with 12 volt cigarette lighter there. And then you do have your head unit, so you turn it on and off here. This is your volume. You can scroll through your radio channels here. Press 1 to 6 to save. You've got your back button there. You've got media, which can either be a SD card, a CD, a 3.5mm aux jack there, or an auxiliary input in the glove box, which is lockable, the glove box. You've got your phones, so you can connect your phones. By looking for MFD on your smartphones, connecting to it, and then pairing your contacts, which will ask you if you want to allow your contacts to be saved. This one's also fitted with navigation, so you've got nav here. You'll get this screen here, so you can go to address. So you've got address, destination memory, so where you've been, last destination, the nearest petrol stations, the nearest car parks, and point of interests if you wanted to save any. So for this we'll just say address. You would click enter. You can go onto the map, which is these, and see where you are. So let's just go back and go to address, input an address. You go to postcode, click enter, and then you would just scroll through the letters to input your postcode and then press OK, and then it'll ask you if you want to set that destination as set that address as a destination even, and you'll be able to start your navigation to there.